Okay, I'd like to call to order the September meeting of Planning and Zoning. Andy, roll call, please.
Yes. All right, Commissioner Sveska.
Present.
All right, Commissioner Bruno, absent. Commissioner Holm? Commissioner Holm? Present via phone. Commissioner Tantillo? Present via phone. Chair Costello?
Present.
Present. And Commissioner Gormley Barnes?
Present.
And Commissioner Skovich?
Present.
All right, we have a quorum.
Okay, if all would rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, we've got a light agenda tonight. We're going to start out with public comments. Do we have any public to comment? I guess, no? Okay, we're going to move forward. Commissioners, did everybody get a copy of the minutes in your packets, and did everybody have a chance to review?
Yep.
Any corrections?
No.
Okay, hearing none, would somebody like to make a motion to approve the minutes from the August 10th, 2021 meeting as written?
I move to approve the minutes of the August 10th, 2021 meeting.
And can I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, so Danielle and Diane, all in favor of approving the minutes, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Dan and Bob, would you like to vote on this?
I vote aye. This is Bob. Dan votes aye.
Okay, motion carries. Thank you. And now we're going to talk about the special use and sheds, and I think this is wonderful that we have an opportunity to kind of preview what to expect coming up for probably several months. Looking forward to getting some insight on this. Andy, you want to?
Yeah, I'll take it away. Thank you. So for tonight, the purpose of tonight is really just to have a discussion about what we want the process to look like for dealing with the various non-compliant sheds that are in the village. Now, they're primarily within the Robert Bartlett subdivision, although there are a few others on the west side of the village as well. And basically, what village staff is thinking of at this point would be to send out an initial letter next week to all of the residents of the Robert Bartlett subdivision, as well as the residents that we know on the west side have sheds. And that letter would have a list of homes that have been granted variances or special uses. And those homes, they don't need to do anything. They've already been approved throughout the years. But then there's 14 to 18, give or take, of non-compliant sheds, or also homeowners that would like to have a shed, and so they want to be part of the process too. And so our thinking is we would send the letter out, and we would require the different homeowners to let us know if they want to be part of the bulk mailing, which the thought would be to pool everybody together, and then once we have everybody who wants to be part of the process, we have to send out a mailing to all the property owners within 250 feet of each address in order to make it more cost-effective and easier on the residents. Since there's so many, we would do it a bulk mailing. The village staff was thinking we would waive the normal $750 application for all of them. The only cost associated would be reimbursement for the mailings. And there will be quite a few mailings because just the location of the subdivision, you're going to count in the Wilshire buildings. You're going to count in some countryside, LaGrange Highlands. It's going to be a lot. So it's going to be a lot of mailings. And so what we would do is all those who wanted to be part of the bulk process, it would just be divided evenly between the homeowners. And that's all they would owe was the reimbursement. And then for the actual process, we were thinking originally we were thinking October to start, but I think in order to give the homeowners enough time to let us know they want to be part of the process and to answer all of their questions, as I'm sure there will be some questions from the different homeowners. There are some who are less involved than others. Maybe we're thinking November to start the actual one by one, because the actual process is going to require hearing from each individual homeowner, hearing their case, and then voting on whether or not to grant them or to recommend giving a special use, or in the case of a shed that's not built within the correct area, maybe even a variance and then a special use. So we're going to have to go through them case by case, and there could be up to 20 cases. So my question to the commission first would be, in a given meeting, how many cases would you like to go through? I just threw out the number 5, but it's open.
Maybe when we start, we could start with 3 and even work up to more than 5, but
Sure.
I think we're going to get better at this.
I think so,
A few
too.
more cases.
Yeah. So is there any consensus from the group? Do you want to start with 3 or 5 and then adjust from there?
So let me get this straight. This is for the folks that have a shed.
Yeah, that have a shed and are not compliant, or would like a shed and are coming to get the special use before building the shed.
I think there's a
Could we
big difference between the two.
Yeah, I was going to say, could
Sure.
we perhaps group the people that don't have one but would like to have one, depending on how many they are, in their own individual presentation times? I just think, I think what Greg's getting at, it seems like they might come with a different set of data to present than the people with existing structures.
Gotcha. Yeah, we can do that. Yeah.
And is there some way we can kind of get an overview first? Because I'd hate to see us, either be too lenient or too tough early on, only to say, well, there's a million of these. We got to change our standards,
Yeah.
It'd be nicer if we had kind of a broad overview to get our bearings on our perspective.
Overview of who has what, or
Yeah, I mean, if
Yeah.
whatever data you have. I mean,
yeah. So yeah, we'll give you we have a list of those who have been granted the special uses, those that we have sheds. There are a few even that have fences, or I think we had one pool. I think they took it. They took it down. So right at this point, just a couple of fences, and then mostly sheds. But yeah, we can get you for October. I'll give you a full breakdown of this category, who's got what, and how many of each. And so it's a little bit not definite right now, because it's confusing, because like half of them, or a little less than half of them, have gotten special uses in the past or variances. Then there's those who have sheds, and then there's also those who want to get sheds.
and
So-
by what process have those past variances been granted?
Just the same process by which this commission will hear different cases for a special use or a variance.
Did they go way back?
Yeah. Oh, wait. Yeah, like 80s, 90, even some of. I don't know when it was annexed the area, but yeah, we have. Going back decades, there's been certain special uses granted. So
Yeah. It probably would be a great idea for us to go drive around too, so we kind of know what we're dealing with. Again, I'd hate to see us, take a stance early on and then be reversing our positions later as we see what's out there.
I agree, and I was also thinking that it would be beneficial to have maybe we could do this at the October meeting, to have a town hall, or for those who want to be involved in the process, if they want to come and learn more about what they will have to do, then maybe we could do that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand you're waiving the normal fees, but what kind of documentation are people going to need to, like, are they going to have to provide a survey of their property that shows where the shed is located? They need to demonstrate that it's within the buildable area so that it's more of a straightforward approval versus if it's not, for example?
Exactly. Yeah, they'll so in the normal variance or special use petition process, they have to provide a number of things. One of them being the Plata survey and the location of whatever structure and where it is and dimensions and stuff like that. So yeah, they would have to provide all the normal information and data. It just would be waiving the $750 per household fee and just the only cost being reimbursement for the mailings. So
And do the special uses come before this commission too?
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But you screen it and then it comes here, I take it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. If village staff gets some, you will help them through the application process, but all the applications go before this commission and then the board. So
Okay.
Do we have plans to put something to the effect of a notification on like the Facebook page and other social media? I just think, we often
Yeah.
hear that people aren't aware of things, so I'm just thinking we should probably get it in as many paths of sight as possible to let people know this is coming up.
yes, we actually are we'll do the website and social media too. Also in our newsletter, we're going to put out a sheds and fences article as well with some information. Yeah. And then as well as the individual mailings to
Right.
to the
Just
people.
try to cover
Yeah.
all the people.
Oh yeah.
And that letter will go to not the whole village, but the people that we believe are interested.
So yeah, it will go to every household in the Bartlett subdivision, and then also the homes that we know have sheds. But no, it won't go to all of the village.
So if people want to get in within their group, they would contact you.
Yeah, and I think right now the intention really was just for the Bartlett subdivision to be that bulk group, and then if we're having other people come on at the same time, maybe we get them in too. But the real intention was just kind of to help the Bartlett subdivision, since they so uniquely have so many sheds and have had issues with regards to this. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is generally what we're thinking on the village staff side, and we wanted to let you know and get any input on how you want to run it, because it's your commission. So
So when you're lining these up for us, if you could do the easiest ones first, just so that we get more of experience before we hit some tougher questions.
The precedent-setting ones.
The what?
The precedent-setting ones
Okay.
that we can judge the subsequent applicants by. If you guys can have the straightforward, this is a reasonable appellant, a petitioner. He doesn't have a garage, he doesn't have a basement, he has matching materials in the house, he's not in a setback, if you can,
Yeah.
and we're only granting a variance for this one, and that's where we're setting the precedent, I think if it's that straightforward, that would certainly help us. Similarly, for the 80s, 90s, and 2000s, the ones where variances or special uses were granted, to the extent there's any color by the plan commission as to, whatever the case may be, didn't have a basement, didn't have a garage, something along those lines, to
Yeah,
help
what their
us
reasoning was.
point to, well, that's why our predecessors approved this, because of that. What I'm scared of is somebody that's had a shed for 15 years, and we point to it and say, sorry, but you're just not checking enough boxes here. You got to work with us here. Then we got to send some bad news, and either have them spend a lot of money on something that they've had and they've relied upon. This could be a perfectly good can of worms that we're about to open.
definitely. And I think that one thing that should be of guidance to us is, I think if the commission remembers a few months back, there was a series of recommendations that you gave to the board. The board took them and added a couple and passed an ordinance, so I attached that also in your packets. I think that will be also a really good kind of criteria to go by for the special uses. I mean, we wrote the ordinance specifically to try to make it a little easier to get a special use for sheds. And the requirements are listed in there, but there was the ones like the 12 by 10 or smaller, no animals allowed, no electricity or plumbing, natural planting, stuff like that. So,
Well, in particular, where it says, we basically established that the structure has to be surrounded on 3 sides by natural plantings to provide screening. That's something I think that these impacted homeowners need to be made aware of, and then maybe given some time to figure out, how to address that. That's going to take a little bit of effort. And I don't know whether we're thinking they would come forward and ask for approval on the condition that they're going to go out the next week and plant some shrubs, or are we expecting them to come and show photos of how they have provided that screening with natural plantings before they, because it's going to be November, December. I mean, people aren't going to be out there planting shrubs. So we need to think through some of these
But conversely,
situations.
I mean, conversely, I wouldn't want somebody to come and say, oh, I have a plan to do this, and then,
Right.
Here we are this time next year, and it was never done.
Right, because then it becomes more of an issue.
Right.
If a permit is issued, there's always follow-up. The permit stays open until,
yeah,
that right?
Well,
This is after the fact.
they wouldn't need a permit.
For the existing.
Yeah, so I mean, we could try to figure something out, like a inspection at a later date or something like that. But yeah, right. Yeah, that is going to take some working through. But I think, now is not the time to do plantings. By the time that they got this.
No.
So yeah, I think right now, and village staff will think about it some more. But right now, my thought is to have some kind of later inspection of some sort, and just kind of come back to them after, I don't know, 6 months or whatever amount, and see if they followed through with the plantings, something like that. But John and I will think it through some more and have a plan for October.
Yeah.
So
It's an interesting solution, but you and John are busy. And can you guys track this?
Yeah, think through how it's
You
going
know,
to be.
especially if we're waiving the fees that would normally go
Reasonable.
towards your effort. Just
yeah.
something, John, when you're thinking about a retro solution, I'm on board with something, but again, you and John need to be focused on keeping the lights on.
Yeah. Well, also we have Lisa here now to help, and she's great, so I think we could do it. But yeah, we'll brainstorm. So, yeah.
Yeah, I would think it would be better to maybe, take the extra time needed if it's, to provide us kind of an overview in October of this is how many cases are coming, this is who's asking for what, these are the basic conditions. They've been given this much time to pull their information together. Because I do agree, we want to make sure that we're applying sort of consistent standards here and not kind of starting and working our way around the neighborhood, and by the time we get to the end, we can't remember what we said to the first homeowner. That's not fair to anybody, so.
Absolutely, yeah.
So could you pull up the minutes from those meetings long ago?
I can see what we have.
Whatever you can do would be helpful. We'll try to.
And see why the variances were granted and all that.
Yeah.
So
Or if we have to overturn it, we'd have some reasoning and sound reasoning for, if there was something that we're just isn't consistent with our new ordinance. We'll have to.
Okay.
Gonna wake up or?
Dan or Bob, do you have anything?
Did we come up with a range of cases per session? Was it 3 was offered and then watch it grow and learn from it and maybe take on more? Did we come up with that ruling yet?
I mean, I don't know if we came to a concrete answer, but does 3 sound good to the commission to start for our first time, which will probably be in November?
I mean, I also think that the kind of summary list that you're going to give us is probably going to, reinforce that.
Yeah,
I don't have a problem with 3. I think
Yeah.
yeah, or
it's logical.
maybe in October when there's a more detailed overview, then a final decision can be made as to the number.
Yeah. I mean, we'll be faster than that eventually, but I just want to be sure we get this right
Yeah.
at the beginning, and
Absolutely.
we're all prepared. And if we're not, we'll wait and do it right. And
Anything else to add? Bob or Dan?
No, that's good.
Okay.
I have nothing additional to add. I think that, right around that, 3 for the first couple hearings until we get our sea legs seems like a pretty good idea.
Okay.
So was there also the proposal to have like a community roundtable forum before we actually started having meetings, or was that just?
So maybe not like my thinking was that we would, after we have the list of people who are interested in being part of the bulk group, maybe inviting them, any of them that want to come to attend maybe the October meeting or something like that, and we could just village staff could fill them in on everything they need to bring, because it is a complicated process that most homeowners don't know anything about until they have to go through it. So yeah, my thinking was at some time, either the October meeting or at another date, to invite all those who are interested to come by and ask any questions they want. And they can do that anytime as well, but maybe just to have them all come at one time if they want. So just my idea. So.
yeah, I think even that meeting, we should start out and summarize the new ordinance and make sure people understand it. Did you say there's a fence or 2 in there too?
There is, and so fences like sheds, if they want to apply for a variance, would come before you. So if the fence owners want to try to get a variance for it, they'll come before you at the same time. Maybe at the same time that they come one night for a shed and a fence, and maybe the shed is granted, but the fence is not, or something like that. So, there's not many. There's only, I think, 2.
There's not a new ordinance for fences, is there? Did I miss that?
There was an ordinance passed, 6 months ago, or a little, maybe even longer, but about fencing. But nothing changed. Yeah, they're still prohibited in most cases. So.
Okay.
Would have thought there would have been more fences that were non-conforming, but.
Yeah, we think only 2.
All right.
So.
That's great. Any other comments, questions? Okay, that's great. Do you have anything else to?
No, I have nothing else. No.
Okay, that's great.
And to confirm, sorry, we would once again be a recommending body only, and the final decision would reside at
Go
the
to the
board.
board.
Yes, you would give the recommendation on to grant special use or just grant a variance, and you can have certain criteria with that too, like if they do the plantings, for example, and then that will go to the board, and the board will you'll just be back to back with the board too. So once you recommend, it'll go to the board. They'll actually make the decision, vote on it, and then. So yeah, you'll be the first one in the process. So
Yeah, probably for a while, we should make them all conditional on no electricity and no animals, and, just repeat what's in the ordinance to make sure people are clear. Okay, excellent. Any other business? Okay. Anybody want to make a motion to adjourn?
I move we adjourn.
And
Second.
second. Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, meeting adjourned. See you next month, or see you Thursday.
That was a quick okay.
8 sheds in our community right now. 7, nobody has sheds, which they're applying for anyways. And most of them that are in there have shrubbery around. And since I talked to everybody ever since this thing started, they all know 3 sides have to be covered. So that won't be a problem. And if you guys want to stop by, stop by.
Yeah.
I sit out in the garage every day drinking coffee, and I'll walk you around.
That's wonderful.
I don't have candy, I'm a diabetic. So.